Hello and welcome to Let Me Be Frank. I'm your host, Frank Duran.
Hi, I'm Jack.
And we're going to be talking about Logan today. It came out this past weekend and we popped in yesterday, saw it in theaters.
Went to the theaters to see a good big screen film.
Because we were hearing so many good things about this film because it was already going to be important. First off, it's the end of the most perfect casting probably ever with Hugh Jackman and Logan because it's just so perfect, casting, and it's this final movie.
It is the end of the Wolverine story, so it was hyped, obviously, and Hugh Jackman alone, now we just consider him Wolverine.
Yeah.
And this is just the peak of it.
Iconic character.
This is kind of the peak of it. And it's a whole movie about him.
It's very interesting also because this is the largest released R-rated film ever. At over 4,000 screens, this puts Deadpool lower, and it puts any other film lower. This is the most spread R-rated movie to ever be put into theaters, which probably means it's the most widely seen R-rated movie ever.
So a very popular, in superhero aspects, definitely very popular movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy that a superhero movie is one of the more... It's going to be a very popular movie.
Yeah, and I think it's worth that. After seeing this, just to sum up the plot a little bit, this is so much further in the future, even further than Days of Future Past.
They say 2029.
Yes, and it's supposed to be Logan's old and he's dying from adamantium poisoning because it's finally not, his healing factor isn't able to fight it off as much.
And the only other X-Men is Professor X.
And then they learn of a new mutant because there hasn't been new mutants forever, and it turns out it's Logan's daughter, sort of.
Genetic daughter,
X-23, which I'm so excited to bring an X-23 into this, and it was exciting to even get an X-23 story, but a great X-23 story, this isn't just an offshoot where it's a Wolverine that's a girl, it's a well-made origin story,
She has the same powers as Wolverine, and I think it's just as cool as Wolverine. I've always liked Wolverine as a superhero, best of the X-Men, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be fair, I'm not an X-Men fan. I'm a big DC guy, so coming to Marvel, I'm always all over the place, and I wasn't a big X-Men fan because it is its own universe.
This is definitely
huge.
the best X-Men movie, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I could say that.
I think I could say that. I thought Days of Future Past was my favorite X-Men movie, but this trumps it by a lot, I think. It's not as epic, quote unquote, you're not lifting fucking stadiums or anything.
No, but that's part of the writing,
yes.
as James Mangold writing it like a cowboy film.
Oh, it really is. It's a cowboy film, and they kind of allude to that by showing Shane on the screen during the film, but it really is a cowboy film.
It's like the generic cowboy story, but put into the X-Men universe, so it's definitely interesting.
It's very interesting.
It sets up a nice pace for the film, too.
Yeah, because it definitely doesn't have pacing problems. It's deliberately like a Western, it's supposed to be this last ride out for cowboy,
yes, it's a little slow at times, but at the same time, the pacing is nice.
And because it's adult, they were able to be with putting the R rating, they don't have to peddle to any kids,
it's not a kids movie at all.
It's not a kids movie at all, and that's the first 5 seconds, you're just okay, it's not.
This is not going to be a kids corny X-Men film.
And it's not even gonna be the Wolverine, which was kind of a soft PG-13, almost R sometimes, but if you watch the R-rated version, yeah, you get more blood.
I definitely think the
this
writing...
is just hardcore. People are getting their heads chopped off, people are dying, people are getting hit in the face. It's nuts. And you were saying the writing?
I think the writing is definitely the greatest strength of the whole film.
Oh yeah.
And that includes all the drama, and that includes the pacing. And it's all done by James Mangold directing and writing it. And I think he did a really good job.
And I think Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart bring their absolute A game to this. And especially the girl playing X-23.
Yeah.
She is a fantastic casting. And I love Patrick Stewart from all Next Gen and everything, and I think he fucking nails this movie. I think and so does Logan. I think Hugh Jackman kills it, and I think the action's here, the directing's here, the cinematography's fantastic. Now my problem is when we get into spoiler category. So we're gonna go into spoilers a little bit, but guys,
a little bit of spoilers.
Go see the movie. Guys who can't listen to the spoilers, go see the movie. I recommend it. Going into spoiler territory, I have a small problem with the third act.
Yeah, the ending of the film.
Because it falls into the same trap I think every X-Men film does, where all of a sudden it gets into the last 20 minutes, it lasts like half an hour to an hour, and they just start throwing villains, which... This one's definitely built into the story. This one is definitely better than every time they've had this problem.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, it doesn't fall as, and it doesn't ruin this film. I'm just saying, I'm pointing out a flaw X-Men, I saw.
Like, X-Men have been doing that for the whole time.
Where it's just like, all of a sudden at the end, there's tons of mutants, or there's tons of people fighting. I think what's great about this is that how well the story ends. And so it kind of stops the problem of the too many like mutants coming in to work, because the whole film's about Logan maybe wanting to kill himself, having to deal with his problems, and then him to fight the genetic clone of himself that actually does kill him, because he's his own worst enemy, is so fantastically well written.
The only thing that can stop Wolverine is another Wolverine.
Right? I love that shit. And I think that's what's great about this story. This is probably the best Wolverine story other than the comics, hands down. And
that's what I mean by like it's the
and
best
it might
X-Men.
even rival some of the comics in how well this is put together. I'm saying go see it, guys. I'm gonna give it a 9. I think it's worthwhile. And on superhero movies, it's very close to The Dark Knight. I only love The Dark Knight more because I obviously know so much more about the Batman universe. But this is pretty up there, guys.
I would definitely give it like an 8.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely a great movie.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna go down as one of those better like superhero movies that transcends the genre, sort of, because we brought our girlfriends to it yesterday and they understood all of it. You don't need to know a shit ton to get this.
It was standalone.
The only thing that they didn't understand was how much the Project X was worked into it. But the same thing is they didn't have to know to really understand what was going on, but it does help the fans, and gives them such like feed,
it's
fan
connected.
servicey.
Yeah, that it's all connected.
But guys, go see it. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
See ya.